Okay, I've got some sound here. I'm a little bit early, but I wanted to take some time to kind of get everybody going and just visit with you about where we're headed to now in terms of the class. We're at that part now where we're going to be primarily doing, you'll be really engaged in a lot of independent study. And we're at week 10. This is, of course, the 2nd of November. And these SQL cases, we've already done them, and they should be uploaded. Then you have BI number 5. I talked about that the other day. That's over on page 75, and that's out of the business intelligence text. This is also an exercise out of the business intelligence text, and hopefully it gave you a little fairly decent instructions, okay? And actually the instructions are in the textbook, so there's not a whole lot I should be needing to explain to you. Okay, and just that's a place for you to upload it. Now, in addition, I have provided you guys some final resources to look at in terms of transactional databases or production databases. Okay, and production database is just one that catalogs or lists transactions, and of course, all the elements, the columns are dimensions that are bound together in a record, and that's why we talked about dimension tables and then fact tables, and then we have the data warehouse, and we talked about that. I have another link again to reinforce that idea about a database versus a data warehouse, and then online analytical processing and some data cubes. We talked about that's been a recurrent theme, and then a couple of current kinds of things going on. The database company, the leisure database, what they do, and then IBM's acquisition of the weather company, i.e. Weather Channel, and then Nike and what they're doing. Now, the format from here on out will be this, okay? I'll log in at this time. I'll go over to the New York Times, the LA Times, CIO, it's a few places, and take a look at and just kind of cover some quick current events, kinds of things that are going on that are applicable to this course. And at that point, then I'm here in a kind of a help mode or a call center mode, where if you're having an issue or a problem, then you can get a hold of me. And basically, when you come into this into the room here, then if you have a question, you can send it to me via chat. And that question is it doesn't show up, it's private. My response to you is between the two of us. And that might even be, if you say, I'd like to talk to you later, set up a video conference to talk about, a problem I'm having with one of the assignments, okay? Now, I wanted to, again, just before I take a look at some things going on out there in the business world, some current kinds of things that just add some more credence to what we're trying to master here. I want to make sure again that remind you about the check your instructions. Okay, check your understanding. Excuse me, those instructions. And in the Patrick text, you're going to find on these pages and in these chapters a check your understanding exercise. Okay. Now notice that I ask you to upload a fresh access file in Canvas prior to the due date. And that file should also have any objects from the Patrick files at Canvas, okay? So you're going to have to import some objects into your own database, and then you're going to perform what each of these questions ask you to do in terms of setting up a query, getting some data, etc. Now, you'll need to provide me a Word document that has some print screens, okay, that show me what you got done. And I'd like that on a Word doc, okay, so I can see that work. So that's due. Now, there are 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken, or 10. Let me just count 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. There's 9 of them worth 10 points each. So this is a letter grade, basically. Now, when you go in, and I talked about this the other day, and you go into the textbook, the Patrick text, okay, the blue one, the SQL text, the SQL text, you will find usually around that check your understanding, a problem or problems that are very similar, okay? So you might be able to take some code that's there and cut and paste and run the query. You may be able to run the query out of the graphic user interface, i.e. the design view. I don't care. As long as you get the results, I'm good to go, okay? So you got that one ahead of you. And let me see when it's due. Pop down here. And to check your understanding, when is it due? It's due Thursday the 30th, okay? So it's due, let's see, yeah, basically 4 weeks from today. Yep. So on at 6 o'clock. Now, I provided you some extra credit instructions if you want to try extra credit, okay? And if you come in, anybody, hi, and I start a little bit early so you can catch us on the front side. If you want to do the extra points, there are 3 of them, and they're worth 15 points each. It's the same story as the regular check your understandings. These are maybe a little bit more challenging set of queries, but you can do these. Here are the instructions, and then I want you to upload them as well. If you choose to do the extra credit, you don't have to. You can if you want. Now, on week 15, okay, and that's 12/5 and 12/7. That's that Tuesday the 5th and Thursday the 7th of December, the last week of class. You have the Teradata project from SAS, and I've got a set of instructions for you, okay, and you want to upload set 1. And I have a place for you. There are 4 sets for you to upload them now. The instructions, okay, are either up here in these resources that I created or in the files. And I'll find that here for just a second. And I can't remember if I put it over here or I put it in the just in the files. I'll take a look here for just a second. There's okie dokie, because it's in a PDF. I think it's in the files. So I'll pop over to the files section. And like I said, now this week, after I've kind of gone over, remind everybody of these assignments that are due and so forth, I'm going to go over and take a short trip over and go through the New York Times, the LA Times, maybe CIO, some other places, if there's anything that's relevant in terms of database technologies. And then I'll just kind of be here if people have questions. And like I said before, if you're out there and you're remote, you can send me a question. You can come into the room, send me a question via chat. It doesn't show up on my, it shows up on my screen and no one else's, your screen and my screen. So those are all private. Let me go to the files here for a second. Yeah, here we go. And should be able to find the SAS Visual Analytics instructions there. I'll pop through here. And I know I've got it in here. I loaded it the other day, or here it is. It's in the form of a PDF, okay? And this will rent out pretty well. Let me recommend to anybody and everybody that to do that project, I really would encourage you to print this out and have it with you as you go through. Now, if you have two machines and you want to have one open with the instructions and one where you're working, that's fine with me. But I wouldn't try to just look and go back and look and go back. You're going to get yourself into a fix if you don't. And there's nothing really terribly complicated. I'm going to ask you to log in to Teradata, and you should have done that already. I think I've given everybody the password for that. And then you want to select software, then select SAS Visual Analytics. I mean, I've got the pages. I've got everything lined out here that you need to do. So this will give you a little bit of experience with SAS Visual Analytics if you choose. Well, you don't choose. You need to. It's an assignment. the thing that you do have a choice on is the Oracle assignment. I'll go back over here for a minute. And if you don't want to do the check your understandings, okay, you can do an alternative assignment. I'll pop down here to it, okay, and get back down here. And let's see. And here's the alternative to the check your understandings. This is an Oracle. Now, in Appendix A of the Patrick text, okay, that's the SQL text. If you look over in Appendix A, you're going to find that he walks you through the process of accessing or obtaining and using a kind of a baby form of Oracle, which you can download to your machine. Now, if you try to download it to OBU, it's not going to happen. They've got security stuff. So if you choose to do it in your machine, you proceed at your own risk if there's something happens. Now, if you choose to do this, I've had a few students do it because they're curious. And basically what I've had them do is just provide me screenshots of what you had done, okay? But please note in bold caps, you're doing this on your own. If you just want to have the experience of having worked with Oracle, and the Patrick text does a pretty good job. Again, that's Appendix A. I'll pop over there real quickly, and he does a really good job there of how to get a free copy of it, okay? And he walks you through system requirements, downloading it from the internet, installation. I mean, he walks you through the whole thing, creating a new database user. So the whole that whole appendix is dedicated to giving you a way, if you want, to get a little bit of experience with Oracle. So, yeah, I recommend it if you're really curious about it. We have seen enough Oracle code, and when we talked about things like the data dictionary, we talked about Oracle. I think, if you went into an Oracle system, you wouldn't have too many problems working with it. Number one, you're going to be on the end user, and number two, you're probably working in a highly graphic user interface environment. So, but if you just want to be able to do it now, but I do know this, having worked through the SQL and working with it, understanding the analytical cube, understanding what that can do for us, then going out and working with SAS Visual Analytics over at Teradata, and you could sit down at your job interview and say to the employer, hey, I have pretty good background in terms of database technology and how to use it. And most people coming out of business schools don't. They really focus too much, I think, on spreadsheeting. So that's an alternative to the check your understanding assignment. Let's see what else we got there. And I talked about the different assignments that are coming up. These are out of that business intelligence text. And of course, 16, 17, 18, we've already done those, so you should have uploaded those. And then we move into week 13, and this is where you start to really go into the independent study mode. Now, I'll come on at 12:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll be here if people stop by. If they have a question, I'll do kind of a short mini lecture, and I'll be on for the hour and 15 minutes, and that'll be it. And if you choose to pop over, that's up to you. Otherwise, and when I'm here in Shawnee, I'll be over at my office. Now, let's see. Yeah, I've talked about the extra credit instructions. Let's talk about finals, and I have the finals scheduled there. Okay, for this fall. Okay, and here's my OBU finals exam schedule. And I always get someone who emails me and wants to know when is the final. Well, here you go. This is right out of OBU's website, and we meet 12:30, 1:45 Tuesday, Thursday. So our final is on December the 13th from 3:15 to 5:15. Now, you do not have to be here. If you've had a class with me before, you know that I will give you a part A and part B, or part 1 and part 2, a section of the file that's due at the start, and then assignments that are due at the end. And you can see this, for example, here's the instructions for part A of the final, okay? And develop a database that gives from the chapters 1 through 20 of the Patrick text. I also give you, I also tell you, okay, the types of fields you need to have, okay? And I think that's pretty much it. That's part A. I mean, you should be able to do that with a bit of ease. Now, in addition, we go over to part B. That's due at the start of the file, and we go find the instructions for part B, because I think I have you run some queries. So let me go over here and take a look in the files area. I'll find that. If it's not there, it should be in the syllabus, but we'll look. And we'll find the final exam, part B. Now I'll get it posted over there, but kind of a rough go this summer. They couldn't decide what they wanted to do. All right, final exam. Let me just search for this for a second. Maybe I'm just going by and not seeing it. Here it is. When all else fails, use the search function. Now, part A, you developed your database. In part B, I ask you to run a series of queries. Back there are 20 of them, okay? So you're going to develop the database, that's part A, and then part B is you're going to run a whole different types of queries, and usually what you will see almost in all of them, I think, is I will give you a reference to a page number that provides you an example of what's going on. So those are the instructions for part B. So you're going to create the database and then run some queries. All righty, now, as regards the rest of the final, and I'll probably navigate there, get through the syllabus piece. On the final exam, okay, part C is due at the end of the period, as D and E, and they are their exams, okay, over the turbine text. You say, what in the world is the turbine text? Well, turbine text is the business intelligence text, and so you're going to have a set of questions from chapters 1 through 2, 3 through 4, 5 through 6. Those are due at the end, okay? Those are due at the end of the final exam period. So, move this over just a second. That's pretty much the mode that we'll be in. Like I said before, 12:30 Tuesday, 12:30 Thursday, I'll be here and I'll stay till 1:45, and I'll be here. People have questions. Now, obviously, if you have a question, send me an email at any other time. I'll take a look at it. But I'm here just basically waiting for anybody that has a question. And this is kind of like virtual office hours for your course and your course only. Okay, so you can do that if you care to. Now, let's go back over for a moment to the modules section. And remember also, I post grades over in, I'm really right now kind of doing double duty because the school hasn't decided if they're going to keep Jupiter grades or not. I don't know it. So I keep 2 grade books. One is over here and then one at Jupiter. And if you should find an anomaly or an inconsistency, please contact me immediately so I can look at it and see what's going on. Now, and those of you who came in a little bit, I started this about 12:11, 12:12, so you'll want to double back and take a look. Now, what I'd like to do also, and I'd mentioned this earlier, is to go over and take a look and just do quickly a look at some of the things that are going on that we might see that are going to have some relevance to databases. So I'm going to go to the New York Times. Okay. And I think all the revelations that we have coming out right now about the hacking of our election, it's interesting. The whole thing started with a phishing exercise and then went from there. Now, and the pressures, for example, that are being put on especially Facebook and on Twitter, but really on Facebook, is because Facebook is essentially a database for all intents and purposes. You and I fill it out for them, and then they try and sell it to advertisers. Is trying to identify these Russian hackers who open up an account and they've used bots and all kinds of things. So it's you know, there's some interesting stuff there to take a look at. Now, again, you know, I try to look through, and I'm kind of just doing this off of the you know, just off the fly. I usually try to do that a few minutes before class, just doing today. But again, this is an issue that they have in terms of identifying users and content, and you know, and when they said that they think potentially there were 126 million people exposed, that's a problem. Now, the issue that they have is this: trying to identify who the user actually is. Okay, so if you go in and you set up an account and you have a shell company or whatever, or you give them false information, it's kind of tough for them to find that. And their ability to go through and check every Facebook post, you can only imagine how many are being done every minute. So that's kind of a problem for them, and a real challenge for them. Again, you know, there are just some things that are related to it, and for example, bots that go through and will post things. Again, it just kind of, the news that's out there depends upon what's going on, and there are some things that are related to you know, database and database technology. Okay, and the applications of it, things like robotics, etc. Those are all pretty. I've talked about those quite a bit, and they're all out there. This is an interesting. I looked at this for just a little bit this morning, and Alibaba is the Asian version of Amazon, the Chinese version of Amazon, and they are growing. And so again, just one of those deals where somebody says, okay, let's create a database and sell stuff to people, and suddenly they're a big intermediary. So that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Again, if folks have questions about about something, I'm here to try to help out. Let me see what I've got online there. I've got Conley, thank you. And so basically, what I'm going to do at this point is just kind of be here and try to answer any questions that people may have. If you have something, you can always certainly send me an email, and I'll try to answer it for you. I got a few people here. Anybody have a question? No, you good to go? Okay. Okay. Well, what I'll do now, starting Tuesday is a virtual day, but now next Thursday I'll just be over my office. Okay, and I'll be there waiting to see if anybody's got any questions, anything they want to work with. But at this stage of the game, you're big folks. You know when stuff is due, and away you go. So if anybody didn't have any questions, you guys are if you're working, you're free to do that or whatever. Okay.
I have my business intelligence book.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I could look at yours so I can get the page?
You haven't bought the book?
No, I just don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it with it. Well, I've got the pages
On there.
Yeah,
Okay,
the pages
where
they're from. Yeah. Well, if you log in, you'll see for those assignments. And let's go here for a second. There's a number of them, and I just basically walk you through. And that's what we were talking about earlier. There's this one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've got instructions here for each. So anywhere you see the BI, that's text. That's this text, the turbine text. So
Okay.
I've got the instructions there. Yeah, and should be. They'll tell you what you need to do. So yeah, and the instructions generally, well, almost always are going to be in the book itself. So that help?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say one final thing to everybody, and it's this. These weeks can go fast. And so if you try and do everything at the last minute, I really strongly urge you, don't do that. It won't go, it'll get ugly for you fast. And you're better off taking this at a chunk of the time. And if you want to say, okay, I'm just going to use the class time to work on these assignments, I'm good with that, or you can work at any other time. Just when they're due, they're due, and we'll go from there. All of the database exercises, the lunches database, all those should be turned in because we've done all of them. All right. Anybody else? No other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Not related to this.
Okay. For another class?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me do that. Let me put this on. I'm going to put the speaker on mute here because we've got a question about another class. So I'll hold on here. I like the music, Conley. That's nice. Gotcha. Hey, Conley, have you got anything out there, any questions or anything like that? Or can you even hear me over the music? You there? Okay. All right. It appears you have no questions, so not my problem if you have an issue and you can't get it solved. I'm glad to have you here, but you know, we're rolling along. Okay, I'm still here, and I've come over to my office here at Bailey. And as I said before, we're in that independent study mode in the course. Tuesdays are virtual days, so I'll be in my office at Oklahoma City. I will, be here to answer questions at class time if you have something like that. And then on Thursdays, I'll be over here in Shawnee, but I'll be at my office instead of over in the lab.
Hey, not a programming professor or anything, are you?
Who are you? Are you a student?
I'm not a student yet. I'm just looking around.
You're looking around. Oh,
Right.
okay.
I asked someone else, and they said I think it was 237.
Are you looking for the computer science people?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there are two of them. Miss Corley, she's next door, and Dr. Marimi, who's right next door to me.
Okay. Yeah. I think I was looking for this one. It says 12:45 on. Yeah. Not on Thursday.
Okay. Did you have an appointment with her?
No, I just asked this one, and she said that one, and then I looked, and it was Tuesday and Thursday at 12:45.
If Dr. Marimi's in class, you could go over to the lab. It's right across the hallway over there. Just go out go to the left of that door, and you'll see the lab, and you could check it there. And if she's over there, or Miss Corley, one of the two of them would go there. But all I would know is what's on her schedule. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, what are you, Professor?
Well, I teach business. I teach IT and company strategy. Yeah. Okay. See you later. Did you find him?
Uh-oh. There's a class over there. I don't know the
Okay. Well, they'll be out. I don't know what classes over there. What did the person look like that was teaching it?
Oh, I only really saw the students. I kind of didn't want to be a creeper and be looking through the window, right? So,
Okay.
but if you don't mind, I'll talk to you since you're here. Is that okay?
Sure. What can I answer for you?
You said you do IT and business strategy.
Uh-huh.
So, what does the IT include? Because that's something about technology, isn't it? Basically, business technology.
Well, all of our students take 5 courses in a sequence we call Business Information Systems and Strategies. And they start from the very basics, working with Microsoft Office Productivity Suite. then we finish up with the MIS course where we talk about a lot of coverage of enterprise computing. And in between there, we have a class on business problem analysis where we take students through and show them how we take kind of classic business problems and we focus on spreadsheet models and then on databases and to work with those problems. So we kind of expose them to some generic kinds of things that companies will run into and some ways that we can do that. Then we have a data administration class where we focus solely upon the data warehouse concept, and they work with 3 products: Oracle, SAS Visual Analytics, and then we use Microsoft Access as kind of the baby training wheels so that when a student leaves here, they understand the end user perspective, and they also understand a DBA perspective on a database and what you do with it, and the whole idea of the analytical cube and what we mean by that. Then I also teach business policy, and that's a class. All the classes I teach service all the majors business policy classes. Basically, we cover some. We get their feet wet a little bit with decision sciences, and then we cover basically basic concepts of strategic management, and then a piece of the course is they can participate in a simulation, and they compete against teams all over the world. And at least the courses I teach, all have a heavy independent / project element to it that comes at the end of the semester. So folks get used to doing that. So when they go out to work somewhere, then someone says, "Well, here's a project I'll see in 2 months." They've worked in that type of situation. So that's pretty much it.
The database and policy, how to run a business.
And spreadsheets. We use those. We don't. We're not trying to make them into spreadsheet people. Okay. What we do is we try to show them how we use Excel, which is kind of the model for everybody, and we show them how spreadsheets can be used to help us look at alternative outcomes or possible outcomes. I also teach the management science course, and in we focus a lot on the what if tools in Excel, and we do almost everything is about using optimization models. So by the time our students have left here, they probably have the skill equivalent of an entry-level business analyst on top of what they might have like marketing or management or international business or something like that. So when they leave, they're pretty good. Our students typically in the CAP sim, I'll typically have a team that'll score out in the 80th or 90th percentile versus a lot of, some of the largest, best-known schools in the world. And our standardized scores students over the years in the ETS, 12 years I've been here, overall, that's the Educational Testing Service field test for business majors, 80th, 90th percentile.
That's good.
So when they leave here, they are
ready to go for business.
Yeah, they're some of the best business students in the country, maybe even the world.
Yeah.
We have a high level of people with PhDs. We take a lot of time to work with students. The classes are relatively small. It's a whole different atmosphere than it would be if you go to a big state school and you sit in a class. Your first 2 or 3 classes are probably going to be anywhere from 50 to 200 people. We're a private institution. Yes, we're a private sectarian institution. We're owned by the Baptist General Convention of Oklahoma. So We have some standards in terms of expectations of behavior and lifestyle, things of that nature. And those are all out on the website. And people who do the recruiting for us, speak with students about that issue. Right. We're a faith-based school. If you're uncomfortable with that, that may not be where you need to go. I have one young lady who was an advisee who was a Wiccan, who decided this was probably not the best place for her. Yeah, well, I told her she's welcome as long as she wanted to stay. We have chapel, and that's mandatory for students. I'm not sure what else I could tell you other than, one other notable thing would be our accounting program. We have, I think our rating is either 10th or 11th in the country. We have the highest pass rate of any school in the state of Oklahoma. First time on the CPA. So if you think you'd want to go that route, this would be the place to be, because we have an outstanding accounting program.
Yeah, I figure I'll kind of just talk to as many people around here as I can.
Welcome to.
I will
Absolutely.
Go ahead and say about a paragraph about me, just so that
okay.
Kind of thing. My name's Trey. I think I said that maybe. I've been researching artificial intelligence for quite a while, so I'm trying to figure out kind of just where I fit in. Currently, I work at a convenience store. I tried out a couple of colleges. Francis Tuttle worked real well for programming. And so just trying to figure out where I can learn more. I'm actually researching currently artificial intelligence. I found this tool set for it. Machine learning, if you don't know, it's becoming more.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just talking and looking around until I can find something, because I tried UCO and it worked. I was learning, but eventually my grades went down. I think differently. So talking to you. So I guess I might see you later. You're always welcome to stop by. I'm sorry that neither one of them are here. You may want to try to get an appointment with them. Okay. Now I don't know, if the dean's office, if he's downstairs or not, but if you go downstairs in the foyer, over just next to the door of the dean's office, you're going to find a set of sheets, different color sheets, and they're going to have the courses and the course sequence for all of our majors. Hello.
That's Dr. Flynn. He teaches accounting.
Accounting? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
Yeah.
Think I should talk to him?
If you're interested in accounting, he'd be the guy to talk to. But if you think you'd want to do it. Oh, are you? That's right. You're still running class. Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
You bet. You bet. I'm Dr. Harmon.
Harmon.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Hi. What's up? What's up? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm in the project independent study phase of my courses, so I'm over here in the office. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it just has to go. It just has to do its thing. That's all. So I know it's rough it's rough to watch, but it's just how it is. But yeah, I'm doing a lot better. Yeah. They at Walgreens called and said a prescription was ready, and is that it? Okay. I would sure appreciate it if you could get it for me. If you can, I can get it tomorrow or whatever. But then I'll try next week to go down and do battle with people at Dr. Horton's office so she understands what's going on. I guess I wasn't clear enough. And you know, she's kind of curt, so I wrote her a letter, and I thought maybe I'm explaining this, but you know, she left whatever message she left. I'm just gonna have to try to piece it together or something. Hell, I don't know. But they're closed on Friday, so it does me no good. But okay, honey, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I got cleaned up, drove over, talked to Roger for a little bit because I had to take him to get his blood drawn, and then went into my class, and you know, I'm here, and so I haven't looked at my email. I'm sorry, but I'll take a look at it here in just a minute. But thank you for taking care of everything. You know, I really do appreciate it very much. Oh, it just frustrates me with her, that lady. She just, you know, when you said, well, there's a substitute, I go every 6 months. So it slipped my mind of, oh God, I'm about to walk right into the same trap, you know, they did before. And what I have was working, so I want to stay with what's working. And those pills, my God, they're expensive. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to have to go down and you know, and see. I'm just going to have to go down and talk to her. You know, but how many are they going to give me today? Did they say, or? Oh, 60? 60 will keep me for 30 days. Well, see, okay. Yeah, see, the blue and the dioclymate, or whatever you call it, I take it with, in the morning, I take it with everything else in the green and yellow, one. Then in the middle of the day, I take another blue one, only a blue one. Okay. And then I take the blue one and the two at night. And so the blue and the dosage on it is like once 4 times a day or something like that. Yeah. So basically, I take the Librax substitute at night and in the day, and then during the day I take that blue one. Yeah. 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 What I have right now works, so I just soon stay with it. It's kind of rough in the morning, sometimes at night, but it's working. So I don't want to, you know, I want to use what works. Yeah. Okay. Or maybe I should just, I thought about just, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. That's that. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. They said it's ready though. Okay. Because I haven't looked at my email. I got ready to work. I didn't know if you had or not. I didn't even have, I just now sat down about 10 minutes ago. Okay. All righty. Well, okay. I love you too, sweetheart. I will talk to you later then. All right. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. I just got through off the phone and talking to my lovely wife. Took the call. I always take her phone calls and issues with the, as usual, issues with insurance, medicine, all those kinds of stuff. Who else has those problems? Probably everybody to a certain extent or the other. Water. Well, I need to go. Go ahead and take that what you thought you take right now. That one have something. You want to need some water? Okay. Okay. All right. Is better now? Okay. Okay. You have to get this stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and have a take a pill. Yeah. I have some water if you'd like it. Okay.
Oh, I got written that down.
Okay. All right. Take it. Okay. All right, folks. Still here. And as you can see from the sign here, if you come in, I'll hear a chime. I'm going to turn the audio off. That doesn't mean I won't hear you if you enter. Okay, I need to check my email, so I'm going to pause this share and the recording. So probably another 5 or 10 minutes or so. Then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I had paused the share on this and paused the recording. I'm back. I had to check my email, see what was going on there. And this will explain everything. And I spent some time earlier today as the start of class explaining what's going on, what we're doing, etc. And we're now really in the independent study phase of the course and how I handle that and where to find the things that are due and where to find the instructions, etc. So on this day and time, Tuesdays, our virtual Tuesdays, I'm over in my office in Oklahoma City, and I'll be over there waiting for anybody who may come by and need some help or assistance. Same thing on Thursdays. The only difference is I'll be here in Shawnee in my office over here in Bailey. Okay. Obviously, if you send me an email, I'll respond to it. But this is a time if you need some assistance to come over and question, I'll try to answer it for you. And that's why we have the technology. Okay. Let me again encourage you to keep in mind that the time will go fast on these assignments that are due. So you'd be smart to take a look in the syllabus and see everything that's coming up. And I'll be sending everybody an email here today. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and do it right now. Might as well. So I'm going to go over here to my email inbox. I'll move this thing out of the way. I'm going to compose a message. And this will be it. And as you can see, I'm putting a video. I'm sending everybody a message to all of you about the independent study course project. I'll put that in parentheses, phase of BISS 4403. Okay. And I'm going to send it to everybody. Like I said here, I've got it goes to all 22 of you. So there are no excuses. I've sent you an email telling you to look at Tuesday's video and today's video, and you'll see exactly what's going on in the course and what you have ahead of you. All right. I'm going to send that right now. All right. And I'll go over here to my sent. And based upon that, up, there you go. Okay, folks, you've been warned, you've been told. I'll be on here till we go till 1:45, so I'll be here another 15, 16 minutes. And I'll go back here to the week 10. There you go. And I'm going to shut off my video. I mean, not my video, but I'm going to mute my sound. But as a note here, I will still hear a chime. I need to step away. Hang on here. Okay, I'm going to end this session here, and I will save it as recording, and we'll go from there. Okay, let me stop the share.